Hi, my name's Gary Fothery from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and I started a new project here in my retirement. Nobody has, in the States or overseas that I know of, have produced a wheel lock or even a wheel lock rifle. There are individuals who have done a few all by hand, but that's very expensive and hard to come by if you're interested and want one of these. So I started an interest in these about 4 years ago. This is my homework. I wanted one really bad. I wound up buying an original. This was my first one. This is the style that was started basically back in the 1300s and ran this particular stock style through to the end in the 1600s when the wheel lock went out of fashion and the flintlock took over. This is a cheek-held version, which they used because back in that period, these were made for warfare, of course, and the infantry and all, they still wore the heavy armor, big breastplates and shoulder guards. They couldn't shoulder an arm, so these are designed just to hold to the face, and the front was supported by a staff in the ground, and that's how they fired them. Being Europeans, they're very traditional. They stayed with this style and until the 1600s when the flintlock started. These are German style. Germans are the ones that designed the wheel lock, perfected it, and then it spread all over Europe, and each country made their own versions of which were different style locks, plates, and so they vary quite a lot. I'm doing the German style, the one that I like the most, the original version. So I can show you, here's a lock that I bought. This was made, who knows, could be late 1300s, it could be early 1600s. Quite beautifully engraved. This is an inside wheel. You look at the opposite side, look at all those parts. These are handmade back in that era. The way the wheel lock works is, here's a Spanish style. This is a outside wheel. Now this is a wheel that works as such. You need a spanner wrench to fit on there. You turn it 3/4 of a turn. That cocks it. There's a big mainspring here that pulls on a chain as your tumbler rotates, and now it has pressure on that to spin that wheel back around 3/4 of a turn. You have a pan, just like a flintlock. You can see the wheel inside the pan. So you prime your pan, you close, you have a pan cover, covers it up. Now you carry the gun like this, it's ready to fire, but not totally ready. In this dog, as they call it, they used pyrite back in the day instead of flint. That was held, and this under spring pressure as well. You carry the gun as such. If you would accidentally hit the trigger and it goes off, nothing happens because this is up in the air. When you're ready to fire, you lower this down on top of the pan. Now it's under pressure pushing down. Then now it's ready to fire. So whenever you fire it, that's what happens. The pyrite falls down immediately. The pan is opened by a cam. Pyrite falls down on the spinning wheel, creates a spark, so like a Bic lighter, basically, the way it operates. So this same principle was made, like I said, all the countries designed their own lock plates, shapes, and a lot of, but essentially they're all the same type of mechanism. So I decided, and I just retired a couple years ago. I said, hey, why not try to put some kits together? Everybody's going to CNC, manufacturing in flintlocks and such. So I've took this lock and I've had it duplicated, all the parts duplicated in STL files that will be sent to a CNC shop where they will then make all these parts that go into this, and it'll be all fit perfectly and be fully operational and be very reliable. So once I have this done, that's the first thing. Then I decided, well, here's the original, but in my research I found other versions of stocks, shapes that were very interesting. This is one I found that I purchased. This is again another original. I don't have a date on this one, but it would, my estimate is maybe early to mid 1600s, because now this has a buttstock to it, and gun is over the top, profusely wire inlaid and such. Same style lock. This is an internal lock wheel here, just like the other one. So I decided I'm going to do this version, so I fashioned this gun stock to look like that one, with the lock plate from the other one to fit on here, and then I fashioned a trigger guard that would work on this era. Again, this is late 1600s. The flintlock rifle was developed and was being made while this rifle was being made and used as well. So this is in process. I've got it roughed out, smoothed up. I'll finish it when I get my finished lock. I can inlet the lock into the wood, and then I'll finish up this area. I gotta have the lock inlaid in there first. Another version that I want to do that was made along with this one is more of a traditional flintlock, German Jaeger style stock, which looks more like a Pennsylvania long rifle, a heavy one. And so that was what this is going to be. We're taking the lock plate from this one, and we're going to make a rounded face, so it looks like this. All the other parts will be interchangeable between the two. So that's the third. So, I'm calling this a traditional because it has a lot of aspects from the original in this area, and then I'm calling this a Jaeger because it looks like the flintlock Jaeger version in this area as well, with the traditional buttstock. And so when we're all done, I've got all the other parts too. First, show you, I've got of course the trigger guards. These are developed as well. Special trigger guards that fit only these guns. And I made molds. They'll be cast in steel. This trigger guard will go on both of these guns. And then I've got this trigger guard also made. Okay. This trigger guard will go on this stock here. And so basically what I'm offering is all the parts to make a complete wheel lock. And you can make it plain, a nice hunting gun, or you can embellish it if you want. There's tons of pictures on these online. If you want to do bone work, metal inlays, wire inlays, whatever, you can have at it.
There's some that were made for kings that make this one look plain.
Yes, they do. I mean, look at the engraving on this. I mean, that wasn't your traditional plain hunting gun for sure. And I'll also be offering blueprints, which will help somebody for locating and laying out the gun. Give you an idea of the relationship with the trigger, in relation to the sear, so you can mount that properly and align it where the screws align on the tang into the trigger guard. These are different than what your normal flintlock is. So you're not just going to get a pile of parts. You'll have some information here on how putting these things together. Also ideas on molding, how to make the molding on the side of the stocks, the way the originals were. Maybe some ideas on embellishment if you want to do that, like the original was. Here I've given you a pattern for the butt plate. This particular gun just had a 1/16 inch piece of steel cut and bent to form to the stock, and it's just attached with nails. It's rounded heads. Pretty cool looking feature, really easy. There's no special butt plate for that. And like I say, nobody's done this here or overseas.
Yes.
We'll be putting it out in some articles in different magazines and some videos like this to let people know they're available.
You know, I've personally had an interest in wheel locks since I was a young person, so I'm gonna start saving up my pennies. So hopefully in maybe a year, by the time I get my work, probably a year and a half done, I'll be able to shoot one on the channel. Cool?
Yeah.
So I appreciate your time, and